The Lost Spirit. Why the Meiji era changed Japanese spirituality forever. The Severed Spirit. Japan's hidden lineage. In Japan, there exists a special lineage and a philosophy that never appears in mainstream history. It is the worldview of Ko-Shinto, ancient Shinto, which was passed down as common knowledge until the pre-Meiji era. The Meiji Restoration. Many believe that the post-war reforms by the GHQ were the turning point for the Japanese spirit. However, the true severance began in the Meiji era. The Meiji government viewed divine possession and shamanism, elements beyond state control, as dangerous and systematically eliminated them. As a result, over 100,000 shrines vanished across the nation. In Wakayama, 92% were destroyed. In Mie, 88%. The more spiritually significant the land, the more thoroughly it was suppressed. Originally, Shinto was broad and inclusive. The philosophy was simple. If there are 100 shrines, there can be 100 different ways to worship. However, to align with Western standards, Shinto was forcibly reshaped into a single, organized religious image. Yet, the essence of Shinto remains unchanged. There is only one primordial God who gave birth to the universe. But that God divided into infinite fragments, becoming nature and becoming human. This is the philosophy of Wake-Mitama, the divided spirit. God is not in a distant land. God always dwells within the individual. When we show courtesy to others, we are looking at the divinity behind them. Both omotenashi, hospitality, and the spirit of wa, harmony, are rooted in this respect for those who share the same primordial source. Wake-Mitama and the Japanese heart. Yaoyorozu no Kami, the 8 million gods. This phrase does not simply mean a vast number of deities. It represents a worldview where divinity dwells in all things, and everything in this world is a fragment branched out from a single great source. This concept is called Wake-Mitama, the divided spirit. This philosophy has profoundly shaped the ethics of the Japanese people and their relationship with nature. First, let us look at our ethics. Every existence is a spirit divided from the primordial God. This teaching nurtured the spirit of Jita-Itai, the oneness of self and others. When we show courtesy and respect to another person, we are looking at the sacred divinity that exists behind them. At the root of omotenashi, hospitality, and the spirit of wa, harmony, lies a heart that cherishes others not as mere strangers, but as companions sharing the same source of life. Furthermore, because we believe that a God dwells within our own hearts, we have lived to discipline ourselves and act in a way that does not shame our inner conscience. This reverence is directed not only toward people, but also toward nature. Mountains, rivers, rocks, and even a single tree, all are manifestations of sacred life divided from the great source. Nature is not an object to be conquered, but an entity to coexist with. This is why, when clearing a mountain or cutting a tree, the Japanese have offered prayers and expressed gratitude to the divine spirit residing there. This perspective, seeing God in all things, is the true identity of Japan's unique reverence for nature that has continued since ancient times. The ancient Indian philosophy of Brahman-Atman Aikyam, the oneness of the universe and the self, teaches that the fundamental essence of the cosmos and the individual are one. Japan's Wake-Mitama resonates deeply with this universal truth. We are never isolated points. We are part of a vast network of life, interconnected and sustaining one another in a great web of existence. To find a sacred light within yourself and within everything before your eyes. What the 8 million gods tell us is a story of profound trust, that this world itself is the radiance of one magnificent, singular life. Eternal words, ancient prayers, the intersection of three paths, Tamil, Hebrew, and Japan. The Japanese language we use every day, some theories suggest that tracing its roots leads us to an astonishing location. It is a land thousands of kilometers away from Japan, in southern India. Tamil. The linguist Susumu Ono once proposed a daring hypothesis. He claimed that the ancient Japanese recorded in the Manyoshu and the Tamil language of southern India share a connection too deep to be dismissed as mere coincidence. It can be seen in the very skeletal structure of the grammar and the basic words that support daily life. For instance, the Japanese word for autumn, aki, resonates with the Tamil word for harvest or ripening. The word for a rice pot, kama, echoes a term meaning to heat or burn. This was more than just a linguistic resemblance. Long ago, riding the Kuroshio current, could the people of southern India have reached this archipelago? Perhaps they brought with them advanced rice farming techniques and a profound form of prayer, the belief that life dwells in all things. When the poets of the Manyoshu leaned their hearts toward the swaying grass and entrusted their romantic sorrows to the rhythm of 5-7-5-7-7, perhaps the same awe for the universe that was sung in the ancient poems of the Tamil lands was flowing through the undercurrent of those rhythms. The Shinto concept of Wake-Mitama and the Indian philosophy of Brahman-Atman Aikyam. Though the languages differ, at their core lies a shared conviction. All life is a sacred light, divided from a single source. The Japanese heart, which reveres the 8 million gods and cherishes nature, if we trace its headwaters, we cross continents and seas to reach a place where the winds of distant India mingle with the pure waters of Japan. Yet, these are not the only mysterious sounds. Consider the Norito liturgy, echoing in shrine precincts or the chants of festivals. What if within them lived the sacred echoes used by the people of Hebrew from Palestine, thousands of kilometers away? If the word hakase, scholar, which we use so casually, was originally the ancient Hebrew hakaish, meaning a holy man. If the shouts cried out in the fervor of carrying a mikoshi, portable shrine, overlapped with ancient sacred prayers. The words of the earth that arrived from Tamil, the words of prayer that arrived from Hebrew, and the deep vessel of Japan's Wake-Mitama, which accepted them all and made them part of the 8 million gods. Language is the memory of history. Within every single word we casually utter, the network of life that has journeyed across eternal time is breathing still. The ancient spirit of Japan once vanished from the center stage due to the severance of the Meiji era. However, the philosophy of Wake-Mitama, sleeping in its depths, continues to resonate with the words and prayers that arrived from distant lands like Tamil and Israel. It breathes still, quietly, within our blood and within our language. We are by no means an isolated island nation. The vessel of Japan may have been a storage of memories, a place that accepted, harmonized, and protected the sacred echoes of the world until this very day. But the story does not end here. If this island nation truly was a storage of memories, then why did the saints of the world set their sights on this land at the edge of the East? Next time, footprints of saints across time. Gautama Buddha and Jesus Christ. The truth behind the legends of the saints' arrival in Japan, hidden in the gaps of history. And what was the blueprint to save the world that they discovered in this land? We are about to witness the true role that Japan was destined to fulfill.